I'm so excited to finally share this. I'm officially reopening my signature program, Next Level Latina. And to kick things off, I'm hosting a free live webinar on Tuesday, June 3rd from 5 to 6:30 Pacific time, and you're invited. Let me ask you this. Have you been craving something more outside your job? Maybe you've had an idea, a podcast, a personal brand, a side hustle, and it won't leave you alone. But every time you try to start it, you overthink it, you talk yourself out of it, you feel like, who am I to do this? If that's you, this webinar is for you. I created Next Level Latina because I was you. I had a 6-figure tech job, I had a degree, I was doing everything right, and yet I felt this deep pull to create something that was mine. Something that reflected my voice, my culture, my story. And when I finally listened to that voice, everything changed. This workshop is going to walk you through exactly how to start something that's yours, something meaningful, something aligned with your purpose, and yes, something that can bring impact and income. We're talking mindset, clarity, confidence, and visibility. I'll be sharing real client stories, women who went from stuck to speaking on stages, launching brands, and finally owning their power. This is your sign to show up for yourself. You do not need to have it all figured out to begin. And listen, if you can't make it live, still sign up because you're gonna get the replay to your inbox so you won't miss it. Go to the link in the show notes and save your seat now because your voice, vision, and your next level, they're already waiting for you. Welcome to Empowermente, the headquarters of personal empowerment. Hey y'all, I've been wanting to do this episode for a while, so I'm so excited to deep dive in today. A veces digo cosas que no tienen sentido, and then I listen back and I'm like, what? And this is coming from a public speaker, y'all. I'm so excited for today's topic. I'm recording this before going to El Paso, and I'm hyped up, y'all. I'm hyped up. I'm excited to pour some knowledge into you, and so excited for you to listen to this episode. This episode is going to be about how to build a multi-passionate brand and monetize your magic on social media. We're going to discuss simple steps to grow your impact, get paid, to build the dream that you're thinking about. And I love this topic because creating a brand is not an easy task, and sometimes it's very gatekept, just as the speaking industry. And so I'm excited to share the knowledge with you today. And I'm speaking as a multi-passionate ADHD manifesting generator, which in short just means that I am meant to do many things in this lifetime. I'm meant to explore, I'm meant to pivot, I'm meant to change my career, change my business every so often. And it is something that I'm deeply proud of, that I've created a brand through all my journey, and I have really an amazing community of supporters, and I want the same thing for you. And in today's episode, I want to change the way that you see yourself and the opportunities that you have, and you're going to walk away with clarity on how to build a brand that reflects all of your passions without confusing your audience. And you're going to learn real ways you can monetize your presence online, whether it be 1,000 followers or 10,000. Because remember, your passions aren't random. They are your roadmap. They are what's going to tell you what your purpose is and how to prosper. If you're tired of feeling stuck, hiding your gifts, and waiting for permission to show up fully, today's the day we're going to unlock it, baby girl. It's going to be a really good episode packed with knowledge. Let's unlock the brand and business you were meant to build. When I talk about monetization, it's really not just about making money. It's also about building a community through your voice. It's about building impact. It's about freedom. It's much more than just making money, and you deserve to get paid for your creativity, for your ideas, for your thought leadership, and what you bring into the world. And so I'm gonna get into how we're gonna do it together. So first, I'm gonna talk about how to build a multi-passionate brand, how to monetize social media, how to get paid per views, and another way to make money, which is selling. And I'm going to share a freebie at the end, most likely, of this podcast episode, and we're going to close just so you know what we're getting into. So how to build a multi-passionate brand. Let's normalize being multi-passionate, y'all. Let's normalize being multi-passionate, y'all. Let's normalize not doing the same career for 20 years, please. That worked for the past generation. That's not working for this generation. We have so many changes in our society every single quarter, every single year. Can you imagine OpenAI has only been around a few years, and ChatGPT has only been around at a massive scale for like a year, and our lives are totally different, and it's going to keep happening. So how do we expect to do the same jobs our whole life when things are consistently changing? Normalize pivoting, normalize being multi-passionate, normalize being a being that's passionate about many things. And you're not flaky, you're a full person, you're a wholesome person, and you can build a powerful brand around that. So I want to introduce the first way that you're going to build a multi-passionate brand. The first one is to create brand pillars. Brand pillars are basically topics or areas of interest that you're going to touch on with your brand. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to keep these your whole trajectory, but it is good to have a basis so that people know what to recognize you for. We're not niching down here, we're just creating brand pillars. So pick 2 to 4 themes that you consistently create content around. It can be empowerment, entrepreneurship, healing, lifestyle, which are pretty similar to mine, and create those brand pillars. These are basically going to be lanes that give your brand clarity but allow you to be you. And it's okay to deviate from them once in a while, but this is the heart of what you're going to speak about most of the time. Here are some tips for choosing your pillars. Number 1, what do you want to be known for? 2, what would you be excited to talk about for in the next year? 3, what areas create natural conversation and community? That's going to be your brand pillars. You're meant to evolve, and your audience will grow with you. And if you guide them with you, they're going to learn how to do it with you. And we're about 5 minutes in, and I just want to take a deep breath with you. I don't know how your day's been, but mine has been a lot because I'm getting ready to have this weekend trip, and then we're coming back and having another trip. So let's take a deep breath together. If you haven't, a little mindful movement in the middle of our podcast. Let's do it again. In, out. One more time. I'm going to look back at my whoop and see if I was any more relaxed for this minute that I just chose to take a breath. I've noticed that I get really tired after coaching and after speaking engagements, and one of the parts of my journey right now is learning how to manage my energy, porque I put so much of my energy into these things that I almost like don't do energetic boundaries, and then I'm drained afterwards. And one of the things that I've noticed is that I don't consistently breathe when I'm speaking or when I'm doing coaching, so that's just a mindful way for me to get back into it. That was a little break for us, but so far I've told you how you're going to build a multi-passionate brand. What is the foundation for it? The second part of this podcast is how to monetize social media. We've talked about the brand foundation. Let's talk about how the money comes in. So the first way that you can make money off of social media is brand deals. And I think this is the most obvious way when somebody thinks about a content creator or somebody who has a presence online. You think, oh, they're getting paid through brand deals. Yes. This is definitely the first thing that comes to mind. And the way that they work is that a company compensates you to feature products aligned with your audience. And so that's why it's important to have those brand pillars, because you know what your audience knows you for and what you're going to be talking about. So then you can tie that into your brand deals. And what you need after your brand pillars is to have a clean profile and be consistent with your content and focus on long-term partnerships, not just one-off sponsorships. And another thing that I want to emphasize is that sometimes you attract the ideal brand partners, not necessarily by your pillars, but also who your audience is. Like, is it a certain age range? Is it women versus men? Is it LGBTQ community? Is it the Hispanic community, right? And for me personally, I've always created content for the Hispanic community. So my brand deals have always been with nonprofits. Actually, they have been nonprofit partnerships to communicate, educate, a framework or like a message or about voting or about things where our community lacks. I'm so happy to be able to provide that gap and share that with my audience and get paid for it. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a beauty product. It doesn't have to be clothes. It can also be just to promote an idea, which is something that I had never thought of. And I think 90% of my brand deals have been with nonprofits. So just something interesting there. The second way, and by the way, you don't have to have a certain amount of followers to get brand deals, but usually the more followers you have, the more you get paid. But it has to also do with your brand and your credibility and the value that you're bringing and the effort that you put into the video and things of that nature. So there's some nuances there in terms of rate. The app that I recommend for that is Clara for creators. You can look up brands and you can see how much creators with a certain amount of followers have gotten paid. 2, user-generated content is creating content for brands, companies, and organizations that they're going to use for their own purposes. So they get to use the content without actually you posting it on your page. And I've done several deals for UGC. It's super cool because they usually know what they want for the video. And so they're either looking at you because you have a great aligned brand and they know that the way that you create videos is aligned with them, or they're trying to use like your likeness, like your brand as you, not your platform, to get the message across. The really cool thing about this is that you don't have to have a huge following, and the rates don't really depend on your following. It depends more on your creativity and your ability to create content. So super cool stuff. The third way to make money off of social media is to promote your own business. Yeah. So if you have a service, whether it be coaching, a course, a retreat, whatever it may be, using social media to promote it is obviously a great way to promote it. Social media is the new word of mouth marketing. So if you have the ability to create videos, to create graphics, to promote your business, you're going to be ahead of the game. And so every post is either nurturing trust or inviting people to sales. And I recommend everybody who has some type of skill or experience to offer coaching sessions. Even if you don't create a whole business or a whole program out of it, you can still get sessions where you support people through the things that in your experiences and the expertise and resilience that you have and knowledge that you have to help other people. And so I used to do this back in the day, even in 2020, when I did a lot of content of how to get into tech. I would literally do consultation calls to support people as to how they could leverage their skills to get into tech. And I remember at the time, I think I started charging $60 per 1 hour session. And I think I increased it later to like 120, but whatever it was way too low because I was helping people land like 6-figure jobs. So I feel like it was worth a lot more, but I think it's definitely a great way to start and a good way to build your confidence in business and entrepreneurship. Number 4 is to sell digital products or services. So you can sell workbooks, guides, courses, templates, and I already talked about coaching sessions, but it's basically packaging the knowledge that you already have into some type of product. And it's so cool because no one will ever be able to create the same product as you have because you have very different experiences, you have a different point of view, and it's awesome to be able to serve people in that way and also get paid for it. The 5th way to get money on social media is to get paid per views. So this is more on TikTok for the creator fund, or being on platforms like YouTube where you have enough subscribers and views to monetize, but you can get paid to view. And even Instagram used to have this really cool program where you would get paid to do your reels. And it was really cool because I would get like extra income from that. I think I got like $1,000 per month, which was amazing because I didn't even post videos every day and I still got that bonus. And so it was super nice. And it just depends what the platforms are up to at that time. It's a little bit unpredictable. But for example, I know Threads also has a bonus right now, but it really depends because sometimes you can get into the program and sometimes you can't even apply for it. They just select certain users with certain characteristics that they don't want to share with us, so it's impossible to tell. Number 6 is to use affiliate links or sell on TikTok Shop or any similar platform. So if you are a beauty or makeup enthusiast or a clothes fashionista, product recommendations tied to your pillars is going to be great. Even if you're not, like, let's just say you talk about like adventure and hiking, then you can create content about gear. You know, if you're into wellness, you can tie it to a certain brand. If you promote, you know, your favorite books, then you can create partnerships with that where you get paid for every sale that you have. And so it's really cool because it's authentic promotion to something that's already related to your brand, and it can go anywhere from 5 to, I believe, 30% of what the total sale is. And so when you promote it, you build trust and you also earn commissions. And so if you've enjoyed this episode so far, I actually created a free checklist that walks you through these 6 monetization streams, and it helps you map out your content pillars. So if you want to download it, it's totally free. You can click the link in the show notes. So that is all for today, y'all. And I just want to share that you're not asking for too much by wanting to turn your passions into a living. You're asking for alignment. And so it's not just possible, but it's something that is so doable right now. All the details are below in the show notes. Your passions are the proof that you're meant for more, and let's go build it.